board meeting. The meeting is starting at about 8:32 p.m. And I will start the meeting first with the Pledge of Allegiance, if you would all join us. Thank you, and we will now do roll call. Mrs. Mayo?
Here.
Mrs. Oakes?
Here.
Mr. Lawrence?
Here.
Ms. Hanson is present, and please note that Mrs. Denler should be joining us, but she's not here at the moment. She should be joining us shortly, we hope. We would start the meeting here with public comment, and this is where the public may address the board concerning items that are scheduled for discussion during closed session only. These presentations are limited to 3 minutes each, or a total of 30 minutes for all speakers, or the 3-minute time limit may be shortened. Speakers are not allowed to yield their time. And this is a special closed session, so it's a one agenda item, and that is public employee discipline, dismissal, release, and complaint. So I'm looking now to see if there are any public comment cards. Okay, but we have some public out here with cards.
For the record, my name is Sherry Whitmarsh. Board members, I'm here as an extremely concerned parent. Once again, this board spends time harassing 2 employees instead of working on issues that helps students succeed. It's obvious that you don't value parents' input because of the lack of notice afforded parents about this meeting. As a matter of fact, the print version in the Times today was very different than the version that appeared on the electronic school board at this point in time. It also appears that many of you are reading the nameless blogs that are out there. Well, I'm here to show you that there are parents who are concerned and willing to state our names and talk to you in person. Dr. Lawrence worked with the CUES group, including Kish Rajan, to pass Measure C, which reduced the PG&E bill to our district, gave air conditioning to our schools, new science labs to our high schools, and provided various improvements. Very vocal against this was the taxpayer groups and the Contra Costa Times, 2 of the vocal groups against Dr. Lawrence. Dr. Lawrence also allows principals to run schools based upon the community served. Parents appreciate this. He meets with feeder patterns, gives us honest feedback, engages us in meaningful dialogue. Unlike this board, he respects us and cares about our children. Mr. Rowland is also being questioned by you. Think back to the money that you have spent on outside fees. Mr. Rowland brought in Deb Cooksey and reduced millions of dollars for her ability in negotiations and investigations. As a matter of fact, this board has violated the Brown Act by voting on an informational item at the March 11th meeting. Now, if you're being swayed by the article in the Times against Mr. Rowland and Ms. Padilla, I think that you should be aware of the facts. CTI lost 3 major clients in 2008 and laid off Ms. Padilla. She formed her own company, AIS, in 2009, and was provided the translation services to major law firms and an insurance company. AIS was hired by our special ed department in 2010. The contract was reviewed by the general counsel, but this request for this contract was done by the special ed department. No concerns were voiced from Wing D at the time. In 2012, she and Mr. Rowland were married, and he announced it at the first board meeting since the wedding took place. Please note, your agenda tonight has 1 employee, not plural. It doesn't say employees, it says employee. There's no employee number. You have no counsel here to assist you in legal issues for closed session for in-public employee dismissal complaint. I ask that you please stop this harassment of these 2 staff members and stop introducing legal risk into this district and focus on educating our students. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Whitmarsh. Please let the record note that Mrs. Denler is here now, so the whole board is present. Is that the only public comment card? I didn't get those. If I could get the card, that would be great. Okay, this is Ilana.
My name is Lana Samuels. Hello, Mount Albion High School District Board members. I'm glad to have the opportunity to speak to you this evening. My understanding is that tonight you are going to consider letting go of some key district staff, including our superintendent. How can you do that without hearing from as many of the stakeholders in this district as you possibly can? As elected officials, are you confident that this is what our community wants? I don't believe it is. I find it ironic that for a board who claims to care so much about transparency, that you would make a decision like this with so little notice or information to the community. Today I wrote you all an email. Within a few hours I had the permission of 33 constituents to add their names to my email. I am sure if I had more time I would have gotten hundreds of signatures agreeing with my statements. And since I only heard back from one of you that you actually read that email, I have no choice but to restate some of that here tonight to be sure you actually heard our voices. In his short term as a superintendent, Dr. Lawrence has brought about changes to this district that benefit the students, the parents, and the taxpayers. His support and hard work of Measure C allowed funds to be brought to schools that would not have been possible. Dr. Lawrence has kept this district out of bankruptcy. During the worst times of economic woe since the Great Depression, education has been slashed. Dr. Lawrence worked to ensure that our children, my children, could continue to go to school and receive a quality education. MDUSD took the least number of furlough days compared to many of our surrounding school districts. Moving the PAC meetings to feeder pattern meetings was a stroke of genius. More parents are coming to talk to him and getting straight answers. He is extremely responsive, engaging, and communicative to parents and families. By the way, I have been a parent in this district for many years. I now have a daughter in 10th grade at Ignacia Valley High School and a son in 8th grade at Oak Grove Middle School, so I've been around a while. Greg Rowland is also an incredible asset to this district, someone I've worked with in many ways as my role as a parent leader. He is available as legal resource not only at the top levels, but all the way down to the parent level as well. If Dr. Lawrence and Greg Rowland are dismissed, I fear for the future of this district. The MDUSD board, you, are voted in by this community. And in no way have I seen the board truly give us, the parents and families, an opportunity to share our point of view. I encourage the board to fully represent the voice of everyone, not just the voice of a few. I believe, no, I know, that if Dr. Lawrence and Greg Rowland leave, parents are going to look for alternatives rather than remaining in this school district. Can this community and this district really afford that? Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other public comments, because the cards seem to be coming with the person?